This time of year, a good hoodie is absolutely essential, but it's tough to find one that will last through the season. That's why the American Giant Classic Full Zip Hoodie is made to last a lifetime, so you can count on it to bring you comfort and warmth year after year. Slate Magazine called it the greatest hoodie ever made, and from cotton to zipper, it's made right here in the USA. With timeless style, heavyweight fleece, a double-lined hood, and reinforced elbow patches, you can depend on it for years to come. Snag the hoodie that will bring you comfort for life, the American Giant Classic Full Zip, and save 20% off your first order at american-giant.com when you use code CLASSIC24 at checkout. That's 20% off your first order at american-giant.com, code CLASSIC24.
Hello, Steve Mills here, and welcome to the Results Mastery podcast. It's great to have you here, and looking forward to sharing with you some thoughts regarding a program that I've developed on this occasion. Now, if you're here for the first time, then welcome. It's great to have you here. I strongly recommend that you subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss anything. We're constantly looking at some of the latest trends and best ideas that we can bring you to help you to grow your business, to create more leads, to create more sales, and ultimately to create more profit in your business, which is what the purpose of a business is all about. If you would also like to, you'd be very welcome to download my latest app. In fact, my only app, my new app. It's great. I've got to say, I'm so pleased with it. It's called Results Mastery. The only slight downside is that at the moment, it's only available on Apple. For some reason, getting things approved by Google and so Android takes a little bit longer. And I believe maybe by the end of November 2024, just in case you're listening to this in the future, you should be able to download it on Android as well. But for now, it's only available on Apple. So in this particular episode of the podcast, I'm going to play you a recording giving the pros, cons, benefits, and giving you an insight into a new program that I've just launched. It's a program called the Results Mastery Booster Program. It's primarily for startup businesses and perhaps one-person businesses, those businesses who really want a kickstart. Now, there is a cost to it, but do you know what? It's just, to be honest, ridiculously low. I've priced it that way so as many people and businesses as possible can gain access to it. It's a monthly fee, and that fee is £10. £10. That's less than the cost of 3 coffees at Costa Coffee, or Starbucks for that matter. It really has been priced, I believe, as a no-brainer. I call it a no-brainer. Don't mean to be derogatory to people that don't buy it, but I just think it's such a great deal that if you're in business and you're starting up, perhaps you've been going for a year or two and not really hit the 50 grand mark, I'd suggest that it's the purpose or the objective of the program would be to get you to I don't know, if you're starting up today, to make sure that you hit at least 50 grand within the first 12 months, but more ideally to hit that 100,000, that 6-figure mark within the first 12 months. So that's the idea behind it. I'm going to shut up now and play you the recording of the interview. This interview doesn't involve me. It was recorded by an organisation called Deep Dive, and they're going to take a deep dive into the Results Mastery Booster Program. Sit back, relax, and draw your own conclusions.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. This time we're taking a close look at business growth strategies, especially for all you startups and solo entrepreneurs out there. We'll be breaking down this thing called the Results Mastery Booster Program. They say it's got the secrets to, really making it. But before we get into all that, did you know that something like 90% of business startups actually fail in the first 5 years? Yeah, it's a pretty crazy stat. And a little scary if you're just starting out right. So that's what we're here for, to help you beat those odds.
One thing that stood out to me about this program is that they really hit hard on the biggest reason for startup failure, a lack of leads in sales. And they've got a point there. No matter what business you're in, sales and marketing, that's the foundation. It's got to be strong, especially when you're just getting started.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a struggle for, honestly, a lot of business owners, even those who've been around for a while. So the problem's pretty clear, but what's the solution they're offering? Well, there are a bunch of things in this program, but the first thing that caught my eye was the price tag. It's just £10 a month, plus VAT. That's less than a cup of coffee a day. It almost feels like a marketing ploy, doesn't it? Like, is that even possible?
It does make you wonder, can you really get that much value for so little? I mean, we're talking about serious business growth here.
Right. And speaking of making things easy, they've also got this app, the Results Mastery app, which is basically packed with everything. Training materials, advice, all kinds of resources. Like they say, it's like having a business mentor right there in your pocket.
That on-demand learning stuff is definitely popular these days, and it makes sense. For entrepreneurs who are busy, running around all the time, it's got to be convenient. But the thing that really caught my attention is the weekly Q&A sessions they have with Steve Mills, the guy who created the program. That direct access to an expert, that could be huge for someone who's just starting out.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's like having a personalized coach in your corner. But they also keep calling a no-brainer decision to join, They even say that spending just £10 a month on lead generation is a no-brainer.
Now, hold on a second. Lead generation is important, sure. But saying any investment is a no-brainer, that's a bit of an oversimplification, isn't it? Every business is different, faces different challenges, has different goals. What works for one might not work for another,
So it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing then?
Exactly. You got to look deeper. Does their way of doing lead generation actually fit with your industry, your target audience, your overall business goals? That's what really matters.
Okay, so let's break down the benefits they say you get from this program. They talk about taking those big annual targets and breaking them down into smaller monthly goals, which sounds good in theory, and learning from experienced professionals, which of course is valuable, and then achieving consistent lead generation and conversion, which I think is everyone's goal. But are these realistic outcomes? I mean, it sounds good, but does it actually work that way?
Well, those are definitely things that any business would want. And breaking down big goals into smaller ones, that's actually backed up by behavioral science. So there's something to that. And learning from people who've already done it, that's always a good idea. But we've got to be real here. No program, no matter how well designed, can guarantee success. It all comes down to you, the entrepreneur. You've got to apply those strategies, adapt them to your specific situation, and of course, put in the work.
So it's not just about passively taking in the information. It's about taking action.
Exactly. And that's what I like about their emphasis on actionable steps. They talk about sending you weekly email tips, doing webinars, those Q&A sessions. They're really pushing this idea of constant learning and consistent action.
Which makes sense when you remember that statistic we started with. So many businesses fail because they just don't have a system for growth.
Yeah, it's like trying to sail without a map or a compass. You're just hoping for the best. This program, even if you don't end up joining, it really highlights how important it is to have a roadmap, a plan for growth. You got to be proactive, not just reactive.
So are you saying that the real value is in the framework, not just the specific strategies?
That's a good way to put it. Think of it like this. You can have all the ingredients for an amazing meal, but without a recipe, you're probably not going to cook anything that tastes good.
Right.
This program, in a way, it's giving you the recipe, but you still have to do the cooking.
Okay, I get it. But £10 a month? That's almost tempting enough to just impulse buy it. Especially when they keep saying it's cheaper than a cup of coffee.
And that's where you got to be careful. The low price, it's a hook, sure, but don't let the marketing get to you. Take a good look at what they're offering, weigh the pros and cons, and decide if it really fits what you need and what you're trying to achieve.
So let's do that.
Yeah.
What are some of the specific things they offer? Do they actually work? And is there a catch somewhere in the fine print? Let's find out.
One of the things that kind of jumped out at me looking at this program was Steve Mills himself. The creator, they really play up his experience over 29 years in the business world. Makes it seem like, well, if he's behind it, it must be good, right?
Yeah, experience definitely counts for something, especially in the entrepreneurial world where things can be so unpredictable. It's like having someone who knows the terrain guiding you through the jungle. But does that automatically make him a good teacher?
That's the big question, isn't it? Just because you've been successful in business doesn't necessarily mean you can teach others how to do it. We need to see proof. Like, what kind of results have his methods actually produced? Testimonials, case studies, that sort of thing.
Well, funny you should mention testimonials. They've got a whole section on the website dedicated to, singing praises of the program. People saying their sales have gone up, they feel more confident, even that they're like rediscovering their passion for their businesses. Sounds pretty amazing, right?
Oh, testimonials can be very persuasive, no doubt about it. We all want to follow in the footsteps of those who've already made it, right? But you got to take them with a grain of salt. Are these just the best of the best reviews? Are there people who tried it and didn't see those amazing results? It's all about getting a balanced view.
So it's like reading those online reviews.
Yeah.
You got to look for the critical ones too, not just the 5-star raves.
Exactly. And you also have to consider the context. What kind of businesses were these testimonials from? Where were they starting from? Were they already doing well? Or were they really struggling? The more you know, the better decision you can make.
Okay, let's say you've done your due diligence, looked at everything, and you're actually kind of interested. What's the next step?
Well, the website makes it pretty easy. You can sign up right there online. They even offer a free consultation to talk about your specific needs and goals, which is nice.
That consultation thing could be really helpful, actually. You can ask all those questions you might have.
Yeah.
Like, do their strategies actually work in your industry? What kind of support do you get after the training? It's like a test drive before you buy the car.
I like that analogy. It's your chance to get a feel for the program, see if it's a good fit for you, and make sure there are no hidden surprises in the fine print.
And of course, there's that constant reminder. It's cheaper than a cup of coffee a day. They really want to make sure you know how affordable it is.
But you got to remember, the real cost of any program isn't just about the money. It's also about the time and effort you're going to have to put in to make those strategies work. You can buy the fanciest gym equipment in the world, but if you never use it, it's not going to do anything for you.
So it's about commitment, not just cash.
Exactly. And that brings up another important point, opportunity cost, is that £10 a month better spent somewhere else. Maybe on a targeted marketing campaign or a consultant who specializes in your field. Sometimes a more focused investment can give you a bigger return.
That's a good point. It's all about making smart choices with your resources, knowing where to invest your time and money.
And even if you decide this program isn't right for you, the fact that you've taken the time to explore it, that's valuable in itself. You've learned about different approaches to business growth. You've thought about areas where you could improve, and you've started to make a plan. That's already a step forward.
It's like taking a detour on a road trip. Even if it doesn't get you to your final destination any faster, you might discover something interesting along the way.
Behind the delivery trucks that keep your life stocked, thousands of employees at BP go to work every day. People bringing a new offshore production platform online. People making our refineries capable of more, like making renewable diesel from agricultural waste. People trading and shipping fuels to our customers. And people helping truckers fill up and get maintenance at our convenient locations. They're part of the more than 300,000 jobs BP supports across the country. Learn more at bp.com/investing in America.
Ah, the sizzle of McDonald's sausage. It's enough to make you crave your favorite breakfasts. Enough to head over to McDonald's. Enough to make you really wish this commercial were scratch and sniff.
And if you're a sausage person, now get 2 satisfyingly savory sausage McGriddles, sausage biscuits, or sausage burritos for just $3.33. Or mix and match. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I like that. The entrepreneurial journey is all about exploring, experimenting, and always learning. Stay curious, ask questions, and don't be afraid to try new things.
So let's dive a little deeper into something they seem to emphasize a lot: sales and marketing. They make it sound like that's the heart of their whole strategy.
And they're not wrong. Sales and marketing are crucial for any business. It's how you get customers, bring in money, and ultimately grow your business.
But it can be overwhelming, right? There's so much out there. Social media, email marketing, content creation. Where do you even start?
That's where having a system, a clear framework, can make a big difference. What I find interesting about this program is that they don't just throw a bunch of random tactics at you and say, good luck. They actually emphasize understanding your target market, crafting a strong value proposition, and building a sales funnel that actually converts leads into paying customers.
So it's about strategy first, tactics second.
Exactly. It's like building a house. You wouldn't just start laying bricks without a blueprint, right? Same thing with sales and marketing. You need a solid foundation, a clear understanding of what you're trying to achieve, and a plan to get there.
Okay, I'm with you so far.
Okay.
But do they actually go into the details of those tactics? Like the specifics of social media marketing, email automation, that sort of thing? Because that's where a lot of people get stuck.
From what I've seen, they do touch on those areas, but it's not like a deep dive. They're more focused on the big picture, the overall framework for building a successful sales and marketing machine.
So they're giving you the map and compass, but you had to do the navigating yourself.
Exactly. And that's where those weekly Q&A sessions with Steve Mills could be really valuable. You can ask specific questions, get advice tailored to your situation, and learn from his experience.
Yeah, I can see how that would be helpful. But let's be honest, the word sales can be kind of intimidating for some people, especially if they're new to business.
I get that. A lot of people think of sales as being pushy, manipulative, even dishonest. But that's not what it has to be. Sales, when it's done right, is about building relationships, understanding what your customers need, and offering solutions that genuinely help them.
So it's about problem solving, not just pushing products.
Exactly. And this program seems to really emphasize that win-win approach. You help your customers, and your business grows as a result.
I like that. It's about building trust and creating value, not just closing a deal and moving on.
And that brings us to another important element of business growth, building a strong brand.
You mean going beyond just selling a product or service and creating something that people really connect with on a deeper level?
Exactly. Your brand is your story, your values, what makes you unique. It's what sets you apart from the competition and creates loyal customers who believe in what you're doing.
So it's about telling a story that resonates with your audience.
That's a great way to put it. And it's about being consistent. Your message, your visuals, your customer service, everything should reinforce your brand values.
Wow, there's a lot to think about.
It can seem overwhelming, but don't let it be. Start by figuring out your core values, what makes you stand out, and who you're trying to reach. Then you can craft a brand story that feels authentic and true to who you are.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture. But what about the practical side of things? What are some concrete steps people can take to actually build their brand?
Well, first of all, you need a strong online presence. Your website is your digital storefront, so make sure it looks good, it's easy to use, and it works on phones. And don't underestimate social media. Figure out where your target audience hangs out online and create content that's engaging, informative, and even entertaining.
So it's about being where your customers are and giving them something valuable, not just bombarding them with ads.
Exactly. And get creative. Do webinars, collaborate with influencers, run contests, find fun and interesting ways to connect with your audience and build a community around your brand.
This is great stuff. Let's take a quick break here to let all this sink in. Okay, so let's get back to this Results Mastery Booster program. We've talked about Steve Mills, the guy behind it all, the testimonials, the structure. But what about this Results Mastery app? They really make it sound like it's the center of everything, like this hub for business growth, packed with training, resources, even a community of entrepreneurs, almost like a mini MBA on your phone.
Yeah, it's definitely a smart move using technology to make learning easier and more convenient. Think about it, those traditional business courses, they can be so inflexible, right? You got to be at a certain place at a certain time. With an app, you can learn whenever you want, wherever you are. It just fits the way entrepreneurs work these days.
And it's not just like static content. They have interactive stuff, quizzes, even personalized recommendations based on what you're trying to achieve. Like a custom learning path.
That personalization is huge. Especially with online learning, it's easy to get overwhelmed with information. By tailoring the experience, they're making it more likely that people will actually engage with the material and remember what they've learned. It's like having a tutor right there with you, guiding you through it.
They also talk a lot about the community aspect, how you can connect with other entrepreneurs, share ideas, learn from each other's experiences, kind of like a virtual mastermind group.
Yeah, that peer-to-peer learning can be so valuable. Of course, learning from experts is great, but there's something special about connecting with people who are going through the same things as you, facing the same challenges. It creates a sense of like camaraderie, you know.
It's like a support system right there in your pocket. And it's not like they just leave you to figure it out on your own. You've got those weekly Q&A sessions with Steve Mills where you can ask him anything, like having a business therapist on call.
Having that direct access to someone who's been there, done that, it can really make a difference, especially when you're just starting out and everything feels so new. It's like having a guide leading you through a maze so you don't get lost.
Okay, so we've got the app, the mentorship, the focus on taking action. Sounds like a pretty complete package.
But there's something else I want to touch on, something that I think is really important, especially for entrepreneurs, and that's mindset. This program talks a lot about overcoming those limiting beliefs, developing a growth mindset, and building confidence. It's almost like they're adding in some personal development coaching. I noticed that too, and it's something I wish more business programs would focus on. It's so easy to get caught up in the strategies and tactics, the nuts and bolts of everything, that we forget how important our mindset is. If you're constantly battling self-doubt or thinking you're not good enough, it doesn't matter how great your plan is, it's going to be hard to succeed.
So it's like having a Ferrari, but only driving it in first gear. You've got all this potential, but you're holding yourself back.
That's a great way to put it. By incorporating mindset work, this program is helping you shift gears, unlock that potential, and really go for it. They even talk about things like visualization and affirmations, which might sound a little strange to some people, but there's actually science behind it, you know?
So it's more than just positive thinking. It's about actually training your brain to focus on what's possible.
Exactly. And it's about recognizing those negative thoughts that hold you back and challenging them instead of saying, I can't do this or I'm not good enough. You start asking yourself, what if I can? Or what can I do to get better?
Yeah.
You shift your focus from limitations to possibilities, from doubt to belief.
Wow, that's powerful. And it applies to so much more than just business.
Absolutely. And it's something you can keep working on even after you finish the program. It's a lifelong journey.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today diving into this Results Mastery Booster program. We've looked at its different parts, its strategies, and even the importance of mindset. Now it's over to you, the listener. What are you taking away from all this?
Was there anything that particularly resonated with you? Any aha moments that changed your perspective?
What challenges are you facing in your own business or project? How can you use what we've discussed to overcome those obstacles and achieve your goals?
Building a business is a journey, not a destination. It's about constant learning, adapting, growing. It's about having the courage to go after what you want, even when things are uncertain. And it's about finding joy in the process.
We hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity, gotten you thinking about your own path, and given you the knowledge and inspiration to take those next steps towards building the business of your dreams.
So keep exploring, keep learning, keep growing. The possibilities are out there.
So, thank you ever so much for sticking with it. I really hope you enjoyed that interview. It was really interesting for me to listen to it from sort of an external perception. It was interesting also, you know, they were talking about the value of it and so on, and you know, is it worth it for everybody and all that sort of stuff. So I quite like that because they were giving the pros and cons of it, and the other thing that I think, you know, if you are interested in joining the program, that you need to think about, there's nothing worse than joining a program and doing nothing. Because nothing equals what? We all know it equals nothing. So if you join, sign up, and then don't do anything, or if you even worse in a way, if you join, sign up, take part in the program, and then do nothing, that's even worse because you're wasting time as well as your £10 a month. So, you know, if you're going to join, you know, there's many reasons to do so. I think arguably the two biggest, I think, is the value that's in the app. Just going in there right now, I would suggest there's ideas that are going to be worth a significant amount of business, assuming that you implement. If you don't implement, they're worth nothing, as I've said and as was discussed in that conversation. So you've got to take action. You've got to implement the ideas in the app. There's some great ideas, and the other really valuable one, I believe, is the Q&A, the weekly Q&A. Every week You gain access to me live. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm really good at it. I've learned my skills, my trade, my experience by learning from the world's leading sales, marketing and business growth experts. And I bring that expertise now down and through to you for £10 a month, and you can gain access to me online. You don't have to travel anywhere. All you have to do is turn up. It's on a Zoom meeting. We all get together and you get to ask me questions. And, it's really valuable. And to be honest, you probably gain just as much from the questions that the other people on the Q&A ask, as well as as the questions that you ask. And the last thing that we do on that is we record it. So if you can't make it one week, you can send me a question through. Email it me through and I'll answer the question live so you can listen to my thoughts, or just tune in to the recording because it might be that somebody asks a question that is equally of concern to you. So that's it. If you want to sign up, go to results-mastery.com. If you look on the tab that says Results Mastery, you'll find the Results Mastery Booster Program, and you can get yourself signed up. But in the meantime, just to say thank you ever so much for listening to the podcast. Don't forget to sign up and download the app, and look forward to speaking to you again soon. Thanks very much for listening.